Good afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're watching this video. This is CloudChartist with your weekly Ichimoku wrap-up for the week ending January 2nd, 2016, 1/22/16. This is Sunday night the 24th. I'm making this video. I'm going to start off with the monthly chart so you can get a bigger picture view than normally. That I just start with a weekly. In fact, I usually just only do the weekly, but looking at the monthly, I noticed that we were bouncing in this area last week, and I thought I would see if it was a significant level on the monthly time frame from a Fibonacci perspective. So I ran some fibs from this 2009 low candle close to the 2015 highs. I oftentimes like to run fibs without including the wicks, especially on shorter time frames these days, because I often find the wicks are just basically algos running stops rather than real solid price action. So, and I did find this to be a significant fib level, so we'll see if this area holds in the future. I just thought it would be nice also just to look at a bigger picture view. On the monthly time frame, in Ichimoku terms, the ES is still completely bullish. The only thing that prevents it from being bullish is it has lost both the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, but it is still above the cloud, and the cloud is rising, which is bullish. And the Chikou, this red line here representing price time shifted 26 periods into the past, so 26 months in this case, is still above the candles. So in fact, the Chikou at this point could come all the way down to around the 1850 level again, and before it bounced off the candles, and which is basically what happened. The low that we put in last week was, let's see, 1804.25. Wow, that's impressive. So basically the Chikou did come all the way down there and found support and then bounced, but more about the Chikou later in case you're new to my videos and you don't already know all about the Chikou, which is really fantastic, wonderful Ichimoku magic indicator. All right, let's go to the weekly, get going on the weekly time frame Ichimoku charts. So looking at the weekly, and I'll zoom in a bit, we see that we did come down to that fib level area, which is also where we bounced precisely back in October of last year. We came down and put in a low of, let's see, the low was 1813, and we caught a bounce off that level, which is, you know, that fib level is 1811.8, so that's real close to being precise on this bounce. And so once again, we did bounce at that level, so whether or not we can hold that low, we'll find out this week. In Ichimoku terms, this chart is bearish. The price action is under the cloud. We are still in a downtrend as we put in a lower high and a lower low, but we did put in a potential reversal type candle with this hammer closing pretty close to the highs. So if we do see further upside this week, we have a few things to keep in mind. We do have the cloud here. Let me zoom in a little bit more to make this clearer. We have the cloud where the Chikou is over here to the left. I hope you can see my cursor. The cloud is right here around the 1908 level. That is where, or maybe, yeah, around 1908, or 1910 area. That is where the Chikou could be rejected by the cloud. So that could be a potential trouble area. You notice that's also where there's a little bit of a gap, open body gap here from 2 weeks ago. But if we make it above that level, then we do have potential to make it all the way back up to the Tenkan-sen. The Tenkan-sen is currently at 1954.63. Could open in a different location when the new candle opens. It's likely that it will open flatter than it is, not pointing down so dramatically. In fact, it could even open flat, all the way flat, representing the momentum, the buying momentum of this pretty significant bounce off the lows. So keep an eye on that 1954.63 level, or wherever the Tenkan-sen opens up for the new week as potential resistance area. If we do make it above that, then we can look at the bottom of the cloud to offer resistance at 1972.50 thereabouts. If we do make it past that 1974 area, 1975 area, then we'll be back into neutral territory on the ES weekly. If we do go lower, I don't have a lot of support options to offer you. If we do break back below this 1811 area, then good luck. I really don't have, we could start looking at horizontal levels, but we'll cross our bridge when we come to it. All right, so let's move on to crude, which is really what seems to be driving this market anyway, and ES will likely follow suit to whatever crude does. So CL put in a low of 27.56 last week after being oversold on RSI, obviously. Oversold on a weekly time frame is always significant. In fact, you see that whenever crude has been oversold, it has, on the weekly time frame, it has caught a bounce and moved back into neutral territory, and then gotten rejected by the Tenkan Sen. This has happened, ever since we lost the Tenkan Sen in October of last year. We've been unable to put in a close above the Tenkan Sen. We've come down, put in a little bounce towards the Tenkan Sen, sold off again, put in a little bounce, rejected from the Tenkan Sen here and on the in the first week of January, and then continue lower. But we did put in a significant bounce last week with a hammer type candle. So we will look to the Tenkan Sen above to offer resistance once again and see if we can get above that. The Tenkan Sen could open flat or more flat this week when the new weekly candle opens. So whatever level the Tenkan Sen's at, expect that to offer resistance and potentially a short trade if you're interested in shorting crude. It would be very significant if we put in a close over the Tenkan Sen. So we won't know that till the end of the week. So keep an eye on the Tenkan Sen anyway. If we do make it over the Tenkan Sen on the weekly time frame, that would be extremely bullish on an overall bearish chart. We would then look up to the Kijun Sen as the next area to offer resistance, which is currently at 39.24. All right, let's look at some more indexes. Let's look at the Dow. Dow is bearish under the cloud. Did put in a potential reversal candle here, but we do have a bit of a topping tail. If we do continue higher with the Dow, we can expect to find some resistance around the 16,250 area, obviously, and then wherever the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen open up. Tenkan Sen is still bull crossed above the Kijun Sen, meaning the blue line is above the pink line. That's a bull cross as opposed to a bear cross, but it doesn't mean that much under the cloud. If we do make it past the Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen, then we do have the cloud offering resistance way up here at 17,000. Let's call it 17,050. All right, let's move on to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has been more bullish than all the other indexes on the weekly time frame when I've been doing this, and we did find actually that after a bearish close under the cloud last week, Nasdaq sold off further and then put in a hardy bounce back into the cloud. So the Nasdaq is actually neutral in Ichimoku terms, neither bearish nor bullish. We do have resistance up here at the Kijun Sen at let's see, that's at 43.2388, and then at the Tenkan Sen above at 43.6150, and then the top of the cloud also, which next week will be at around 44.44. That's pretty cool, easy to remember. So if we get a really bullish move, that keep that 44.44 number in mind. Let's look at the Russell. Russell's been more bearish than the other indexes, and sort of was definitely leading us down on many occasions throughout the sell-off. But we did put in a significant spike bounce off the lows and a hammer type candle, closing pretty close to the high. So this looks like potential reversal candle here. We just need a higher high and a higher low to confirm. If we do get a move higher on the Russell, we have the Tenkan-sen currently at 1080.90 and the Kijun-sen at 1098.30, offering resistance or wherever they open up when the new candle opens. Let's look at some treasuries. Let's look at the 30-year treasury bond. Been looking at this triangle type pattern and this breakout above the triangle, and then last week we put in a potential reversal candle with a very long topping tail and a close below the high of the prior candle. So we see that obviously this, 159, let's see, 159.05 level is resistant on, has been offering this resistance for a while. So we'll see if we do see further selling. Overall, this is, of course, totally bullish still and in an uptrend. If we do see further selling, though, we would need a lower high and a lower low to confirm any kind of reversal. And then we do have support down here at the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, which are confluent at around 156.15, exactly 156.15. That's also where this trend line is approximately. Trend line's a little bit lower than that, so that's some solid support down here. Also the prior high of this candle, which was 156.25. So look for that 156.15 to 25 area to hold if we do find selling lower. If that area doesn't hold, then we could look for support down here at the cloud, which is around 153.22, thereabouts. But overall, 30 years bullish on this time frame, on the weekly time frame. Let's look at the 10-year. Pardon my sniffles. 10-year, we see that we put in a potential reversal candle once again, looking less bullish than the 30-year, and did not, we don't have any kind of upside triangle break going on here. We're still sort of holding this downtrend line and this downtrend line. These downtrend lines, of course, are completely subjective, and I drew them where I want. You might not like them. If we do move lower, we have potential support at the Kijun-sen here at 127.20 or 127.205, and then at the top of the cloud down here at 127.120 thereabouts, and then at the Tenkan-sen at 127.085. And then we have, a cloud all the way down until it's about, 126.25, something like that. So overall, we're still bullish. We also have the cheek out here, which could find support at the top of the cloud at 127.27. So keep that level in mind, and we'll see what happens, whether or not we can confirm a trend reversal to the downside on the 10-year Treasury bond. Let's look at the metals. Gold's still bearish under the cloud, just bear flagging. Currently, we have some sideways price action in a range between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen, which is pretty much exactly what I mentioned would happen last week did happen, just filling in this area between the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen, not really able to get above the 1100 area, or not able to hold above the 1100 area, but also remaining supported by the 1080, 1079 area. We do see that the Chikou right here is coming right into the bottom of this candle, so could offer resistance, and we could see some price rejection lower. If we do look for that 1079.30 level to support, if we do lose that 1079 level, that would put us fully bearish, but we're still quite bearish in Ichimoku terms for gold. Let's look at silver. Silver similarly bear flagging underneath the cloud, unable to get even though above the Tenkan-sen. Tenkan-sen currently at 14.13, offering resistance on a closing basis for quite a while with silver, even though we have a little bit of a uptrend with a higher high and a higher low this week. Last week, still unable to put a close over 14.13, so watch that 14.13 level. If we do, for some reason, manage to get over the 14.13 level, I would watch the 14.40 area, 14.39 area for potential price rejection above that level. but otherwise, silver is still bearish on the weekly time frame. Let's look at coffee. Coffee is still bear flagging underneath the cloud, underneath the Tenkan-sen, underneath the Kijun-sen. If I zoom in, we'll see that we do have a bit of a gap to fill up here. This could be a spinning top doji potential reversal higher. If we do move higher, we could potentially fill this gap, and we could potentially also find rejection at the Tenkan-sen here. Let's look at corn. Corn did confirm the reversal higher from last week, put in a higher high and a higher low. Did move over the Tenkan-sen. Is in an uptrend right now, a little bit of a topping tail here. We'll see if it can get anywhere, if it can move up towards the Kijun-sen here, and whether or not it gets rejected at that 375.25 level. Let's get wheat. Wheat similar to corn, bear flagging, bearish underneath the cloud, not really flagging, just sort of chopping around underneath the cloud. Unable to get above the Tenkan-sen here. Basically just sideways action in a tightening range. Oats. We did put in an inside candle after putting in a low last week, or 2 weeks ago, a new low last week. 2 weeks ago, last week's candle was inside and still looks extremely bearish for oats. Let's get soybeans. Soybeans unable to put in a close over the Tenkan-sen, just moving sideways in tightening range. Let's look at cattle for shepherd. Cattle did put in a reversal and closed sort of midway between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. We could see cattle trade all the way up to the Kijun-sen again at 135.88, which would probably be a sell. We were unable to put in a higher high, so we're still in a downtrend for cattle here. But pretty bullish that the cattle was able to trade back over the Tenkan-sen here. That overall bearish chart. Look at lean hogs. Lean hogs putting in some bullish price action. I would say more bullish, but we did put in a potential reversal candle, a spinning top type doji, very small body, small range. Still in an uptrend. Did put in a higher and higher low, but whether we can move higher will be yet to be seen. We do have prior support and resistance in this area, so you can see that from over here. We do have the Tenkan-sen curling up, potentially supporting price, so if we do get a reversal lower, we can look to the Tenkan-sen to support wherever it opens up or where it is right now at 59.38. And I think let's look at the dollar actually. Dollar's still bullish. Pardon me. All right. Bull flagging over the Tenkan-sen after putting in a close above the Tenkan-sen, but this does look like a potential reversal candle. So if we do see selling on the dollar, we can look for support at 98.91. If we do lose that 98.91 level, then that would be slightly less bullish, but overall this chart is 100% bullish in Ichimoku terms. And on that note, I'm going to end it. Thank you for joining me, and good luck trading this week. If you're interested in learning more about Ichimoku charts, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at CloudChartist. You can always email me, cloudchartist@gmail.com, or if you're interested in learning about my chat room, potentially signing up, you can look at my website at cloudchartist.com. Thank you very much.